Alright, welcome back to the channel where I talk about Qubic and its journey to a penny. Today we're going to be talking about some lighter stuff. We're going to talk about a little bit of lore behind CFB being Satoshi Nakamoto. Alright, it's fun stuff. There's actually a lot of on-chain evidence that does lead to it. There is a nice video to which I will post a link to in the description, which is a nice summation of all the evidence. But yeah, I was rewatching the video today and something dawned on me, after, in light of like the events happening lately, like Monero being taken over by Qubic via hash power. Something was mentioned about DOS attacks, and it just lent more credibility to CFB actually being Satoshi Nakamoto. So yeah, that's early on in the clip. So I hope you enjoy the video. I thought it was fun. I caught it in real time. It was just like an aha moment. So yeah, I hope you guys saw what I saw. Enjoy the clip. Again, I will post the link to the full video in the description. Okay, bye.
Now let's get into how Sergey Vancheglo, Come From Beyond, CFB, BC Next, and Satoshi Nakamoto are all the same individual. The final email communication we've received from Satoshi came in response to a message from community member Mike Hearn in April of 2011. At this point, Satoshi had already been absent from the Bitcoin community for some time. When asked if he was going to return to the community or not, his response was, "I've moved on to other things. It's in good hands with Gavin and everyone." This proves that Satoshi was active in another crypto project after he left Bitcoin. Satoshi's final comment on the Bitcoin Talk forum came in a comment in December of 2010, where he stated, "As Gavin and I have said clearly before, the software is not at all resistant to DOS attack. This is one improvement, but there are still more ways to attack than I can count." So Satoshi left Bitcoin because the project had too many technical flaws and could not achieve his vision. So what was this new project that Satoshi was working on? The Satoshi accounts on the Bitcoin Talk forum came in a comment in December of 2010, where he stated, "As Gavin and I have said clearly before, the software is not at all resistant to DOS attack. This is one improvement, but there are still more ways to attack than I can count."
Oh, that's so relevant today. Huh. Oh. Ho 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 ho. Oh, is that even more evidence because of what's been going on these days? Oh my God.
So Satoshi left Bitcoin because the project had too many technical flaws and could not achieve his vision. So what was this new project that Satoshi was working on? The Satoshi accounts never posted again. This is because Satoshi started his new project under a different pseudonym. The new project NXT launched in 2013 and was the first fully proof-of-stake blockchain 9 years before Ethereum transitioned to a proof-of-stake consensus. The founder of NXT went by the pseudonym BC Next. His username hints at the fact that he is Satoshi. BC Next, Bitcoin Next, and that NXT was Bitcoin's next evolutionary step. This hint is in line with the behavior of Sergey Vancheglo, as he has been known to purposefully confuse and manipulate people's ideas about his true identity. Many community members speculated that BC Next was Satoshi because they both used pseudonyms, and NXT fixed many of the technical flaws inherent in Bitcoin's design. The other account that posed as a developer of the NXT project went under the pseudonym Come From Beyond, or CFB for short. CFB has been active since the beginning of the Bitcoin Talk forum, and the username CFB dates back to at least 2000, with this article written here. There are many discussions on posts on the Bitcoin Talk forum where CFB would respond to BC Next and vice versa. Still, some in the community claimed that CFB and BC Next were the same individual. CFB even went as far as making a post asking people to pose their arguments as to why he could or couldn't be the same individual as BC Next. Eventually, development on NXT ended, because it could not achieve his vision, similarly to how Satoshi left Bitcoin. Sergey Ivan Cheglo started a new project called IOTA. In order to shed more credibility on IOTA, Sergey signed a message with BC Next's private key, proving that the two individuals, BC Next and CFB, were one and the same. So now we have cryptographic proof that BC Next is CFB, but can we prove that CFB is also Satoshi? One thing we know for certain is that Sergey Ivan Cheglo likes to confuse people by assuming different online identities and changing his writing style. This has been documented many times, including here. And here, where Come From Beyond states that BC Next was a sock puppet created for NXT and will never appear again, like Satoshi and Bitcoin. And here, where he jokingly admitted to being Satoshi and shared some details on how he picked that name. And here, where he gives a link on how to change writing styles, states he holds 800,000 Bitcoin, and then claims to not be Satoshi. Then we also have this post where a user asks Come From Beyond about one of Satoshi's addresses starting with 1CFB. Another user chimed in saying that the CFB alias was not used at the time of the address's creation, and that Sergey corrected the user by posting links to some old articles Come From Beyond had written in 2002. He then goes on to discuss the potential of having multiple personalities, hinting at the fact that he does own the 1CFB address and is Satoshi. Here he admits he is Satoshi again. Of course, the 1CFB address could be chalked up to a mere coincidence, but in this thread here, we have Satoshi talking about vanity addresses, where someone's initials are the first few characters of an address. The very next day after Satoshi made this post, the 1CFB address
Are you kidding me?
was created. And if this isn't enough to convince you, BC Next had a vanity address that started with 1BCN. Of course, BC Next is confirmed to be Come From Beyond, as this was cryptographically proved in 2017. Another confirmed Satoshi address starts with the characters 15UBIC, which is a vanity address that looks surprisingly similar to Qubic. Qubic was first publicly talked about in 2012. It is safe to assume the name Qubic has been in Sergey's head for years prior to the official announcement. Again, we have Sergey stating he owns 800,000 Bitcoin.
And keep in mind, let me show you something. I looked up, I was talking to Grok and stuff, and I looked up what 15 could be, what 15 could mean. Let me show you something what I figured out. What me and the AI figured out together. Let me see 15. Right here. So Bitcoin wallet addresses are encoded in base 58 format to make them more human readable and avoid confusion between similar looking characters. Base 58 includes the following characters. The character Q is the 15th character in the sequence. Alright, so 15 equals Q. So in base 58, 15 equals Q. I did like my own little investigation, so it's like essentially that it says Qubic, that address.
An amount that nobody other than Satoshi would own. This is more than even BlackRock owns. Here we have CFB talking about how he found some of his old private keys hard-coded into an old Bitcoin miner. He states that at the time, Bitcoin could only be mined with CPU. If you look at the date of creation of CFB's Bitcoin Talk Forum account, it was created in November of 2011. However, GPU mining was introduced to Bitcoin in October of 2010, meaning that Sergey was engaging with the Bitcoin Talk Forum before his CFB account was created there. This is because before Sergey was posting on Bitcoin Talk under CFB, he was posting under the Satoshi account. Here we have CFB stating that if anything were to happen to him, 250,000 Bitcoin would be sent to the United States' worst enemy. This also aligns with this article that states that the US government knows who Satoshi is. Perhaps the most conclusive evidence to sum up all of the information outlined above happened when a researcher examined a piece of code uploaded by Satoshi. He found that Satoshi was trying to hide his identity behind a Russian proxy. After searching the internet, results showed that a user named Sergey had used the same proxy as Satoshi to log into a website to review hotels in Vietnam. To top it off, there was also an April Fool's joke paper written by BC Next, CFB, and Satoshi. The subject matter of this paper is satire, but perhaps the biggest joke about this paper is the fact that it claims to have 3 authors, when in fact, Sergey Vancheglo wrote this by himself under his 3 pseudonyms. So there you have it, Sergey Vancheglo, the founder of Bitcoin, NXT, IOTA, and Qubic. Even after Sergey's departure, IOTA is still under active development and has partnered with the government in the UAE to make IOTA's core technology the backbone of their data and financial infrastructure. Meanwhile, Sergey is working on Qubic, which launched at the end of 2023. Qubic aims to solve the problems that he sees in cryptocurrency projects, including the ones he created. Whether or not he will be able to solve these problems this time around is anyone's guess. Now that we know that Sergey Vancheglo is Satoshi Nakamoto, and that he holds 800,000 Bitcoin, let's see what he plans to do with those coins. Sergey has said that he is going through a divorce and has moved to Cyprus after the proceedings. He states that he needs to split his 800,000 Bitcoin holdings with his wife. According to the laws in Cyprus, if Sergey withholds finances from his wife during a divorce, and the finances are discovered, his wife will get 100% of the undisclosed assets. Sergey cannot spend his Bitcoin holdings until after he has been in Cyprus for 183 days. These 183 days end sometime in January of 2025. His ex-wife has no intention of holding these Bitcoin and plans to sell them as soon as possible. Sergey has said that it will be a race between him and his wife to cash out on their Bitcoin holdings first. Sergey has said he plans to crash the price of Bitcoin to single digits to send a message. He also states that he is not upset about his wife taking half of his fortune because he will make far more money on AI. When Sergey talks about AI,
Seeing as there's a lot of solid evidence, you have to take what CFB is actually saying with a grain of salt. You never know when he's joking, trolling, or being serious, but yeah. Take what he says at face value.
he is talking about his new revolutionary AI algorithm called AI Garth, which will launch on Qubic. It is safe to assume that Sergey plans on selling his Bitcoin holdings to buy Qubic, the irony of Bitcoin being created to oppose reckless government money printing, only to end up getting adopted by those very same governments it was intended to replace. The final step in this unlikely journey is when Satoshi beats the government at their own game by devaluing their currency, Bitcoin.
That's ba bam 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 bam. So yeah, 15 Ubik. Yo. Yep. Bye.
Or up, 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 mountain high, mountain down in the sky.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How I want to,
What you
oh!